Sony sent me this a6700. It's an APS-C camera on a loan with the 16 to 55mm f2.8 G master lens. Let's have some fun with it. This is basically the first rushes that I'm doing with this Sony a6700. I haven't tried it yet. I will discover it today in this video, so I decided to do a vlog kind of video where I try this a6700 with the 16 to 55mm 2.8 G master lens. This is not my camera, by the way. I got it on a loan from Digit Photo and Sony France to try it out, because I made a video previously on my channel saying that I will not buy this camera. I prefer the Fujifilm X-S20. I'm not gonna compare these two cameras in this video. This is my first impression on the Sony a6700. But first I have to come to my lab because I'm a researcher in physics in France. I have to do some experiments today, and then on my lunch break I'll go play with this a6700 and the 16 to 55mm f2.8 G master lens from Sony. So I just finished work and now I'm using the Sony a6700 with the 16 to 55mm 2.8 G master lens. It's somehow a heavy setup for vlogging, especially that I have the Rode Video Mic Go 2 on top of it. It's somehow heavy. I'm using it with the active stab. The 16mm with this camera is about 24mm, and if we would like to get the active stab, we go about 27mm, and it's somehow a heavy setup. I was preferring using some more compact setups than this one, even though the camera is somehow compact and lightweight, while the lens, the 16 to 55mm 2.8 G master, is a heavy lens compared to all the vlogging lenses that I have, especially the Tamron 11 to 20 2.8. I'm sure that the build quality of this Sony lens is way better than that one, because wow, that's so loud, because this lens is about maybe 1,200 euros, something around that. And by the way, let's talk a little bit about Digit Photo, who sent me this camera with Sony France, with the collaboration of Sony France. So Digit Photo is a camera store in the east side of France, more specifically in Metz. So if you are near that region, I highly recommend you to visit them. They're amazing. The service there is perfect. And last time we were discussing about new gears and cameras and so on, and I said that I would like to try this a6700 because I've been talking about it recently on my channel, especially about the specs, because I haven't got this camera yet. And I was not so hyped about it, especially that I have the Fujifilm X-S20, and they said, well, wait, let's talk with Sony and let's make a collaboration with Sony France, and they sent me this one to try it. I have only 10 days or 12 days to try it out, so it's gonna be a short time. I hope I can create some content, some interesting content, whether on this camera or with this camera. And by the way, you can use the creator code PhotoRabs if you buy from Digit Photo. I'll put the link in the description below. You can help my channel a lot. And by the way, also Digit Photo did not sponsor my channel, they did not pay me to talk about them, but I decided to give them a shout out because they are really nice people and they are really professional. So why not sharing this information with you on this platform. So this camera, the a6700 from Sony, was released recently. It has a 26 megapixel BSI CMOS sensor, almost the same as the Fuji X-S20. I'll not compare these two cameras in this video, so this is not gonna be this is not gonna be a comparison between these two cameras. This one has the new menu system from Sony. I talked about the previous menu system. It was very old, it was not user-friendly. This one is way better. It's colorful and you can really find what you need in a second. And this new camera from Sony allows you to record in 4K 120 frames per second. You can achieve great slow motion shots with this camera, but this is not as simple as that because you need a new memory card, a fast memory card, because the normal memory card, the 200 megabyte per second writing speed, is not enough for this mode, and you get a huge crop into your image. So be aware of that, because the 16mm in 4K 120 frames per second, if we deactivate all the stabilization, instead of being 24, it's gonna be around 36, I think, 36 millimeters. So that's so tight. You cannot achieve a wide angle lens, a wide angle field of view with a wide angle lens if you are shooting in slow motion. You record also with this camera the gyroscopic data, which are basically very important if you'd like to stabilize your footages later on. Now I'm shooting at 16mm. I deactivated the active stab on this camera, so I have the 16mm on an APS-C, which is equivalent to 24mm, and I'm not using the IBIS of this camera, so I will use the Catalyst browse in order to be able to use all of the gyroscopic data and stabilize the footages. And stabilize the footage on post, which is something that I don't really like, because when I'm doing my vlogs and my videos on the go, I like to have my videos really easy to use and simple, so I can throw them directly on my timeline and use them without the need to go to another process in order to stabilize or to do anything else on my videos. And by the way, that's why I'm shooting in the normal color profile and not in the S-Log mode on this camera. And what I like about this camera a lot is that we have the focus track. You can tap on the screen to select a subject or to pick a point on the frame, and then the focus will keep tracking this subject very well. And that's something that is amazing on such small cameras, because it will make your workflow easier when you are using it in a professional work. That's something that I really love. I tried it today when I was having lunch at a Lebanese restaurant in Ras, and it's really perfect. I really loved it. I don't have this feature on my other camera, on my Fuji X-S20 especially. So this is a good point on this camera that's really helpful, really handy, and I really love it. And besides that, we have the auto framing mode. So I just activated the auto framing mode, and in this mode we have 3 levels: small, medium and large. What basically this mode does is that it crops in the sensor, because by the way we have a 4K on this camera, but it's a downgrade from a 6K footages, so we have more room in order to crop, in order to adjust the image. And now I have the frame following me, and that's something amazing. I prefer using it with wide angle lenses. I'm now using it with the 16mm. I'm not sure that you can hear the audio because I don't have a wireless mic. I'm connecting the Rode Video Mic Go 2 on top of the camera, so I cannot be very far away from it. So now I'm trying to move, and you get a feel that there is a cameraman handling the camera behind and moving it with me. So it's not the AI tracking, it's the AI features that are included in this a6700 from Sony. And there are 2 things more that I love about this camera so far, and because this camera is a weather sealed camera and the lens also is a weather sealed lens, so you won't be afraid of using it in the rain, for example, whether for photography or videography, and that's a great point for this camera. And the memory card slot is on the side and it is not with the battery, so that's a great thing that I love on this camera, because I had lots of issues with my Fuji X-S20 because the memory card is in the same position with the battery. So in order to change the memory card or the battery, you have to be able to have access to the same door, which is somehow frustrating, and I love it on this one. And since this is a Sony camera, I should not forget to mention the autofocus system, because it's one of the best, if not the best out there among all the other brands: Canon, Fujifilm, Nikon, and so on. So this one will never fail. I feel that it's very accurate, very fast, very reliable. I'm using it in eye autofocus and it's amazing. I'm very surprised and satisfied with the results that I'm seeing on the LCD screen. I haven't checked the footages yet, but it's really interesting and I really love it. And let's go from here. Although this camera has great features and it's a very interesting camera, but it has lots of flaws. I'll mention them. The first flaw is that I cannot consider this camera as a hybrid one, because it's mainly for videos, I believe, because the EVF is on the side, and that's not really interesting for a photographer to use an EVF on the side of the camera. The frame will be a little bit off, and that's not something that personally I like to use and I like to have on my cameras for photography, and that's why I don't think that this camera is made for photographers. And by the way, the EVF on this camera is so bad, the resolution is so low, so you won't enjoy using it at all. That's my point of view. By the way, the LCD screen has a very low resolution as well. I don't know why Sony they do not add some good EVF and some good LCD screens on their cameras, even if we can consider this one as an entry-level camera. But well, I was expecting to have a better LCD and a better EVF on this one. These are major flaws, by the way, on the Sony a6700 to be able to be a hybrid camera, by the way. And even though this camera has great features, but to be honest, I cannot understand the niche of this camera. I don't understand why Sony are making this camera. Even though it has great image quality, I believe it has great audio capabilities as well, but we do not have the product showcase mode, and for content creators we need to showcase a product, for example, and on this one we cannot. We can do this on the DJI Pocket 3, which is a very tiny camera compared to this one for the third of the price approximately. This one is about 1,800 or so. So I cannot understand why we do not have this mode. It's not for photographers because of the EVF on the side, and add to that the low resolution of the EVF. It's not for content creators, so it's mainly for vloggers, but who need a camera with 1,700 or 800 euros only for vlogging in 2023-2024, and that was a main issue that I found on this camera. I hope that Sony will address it in the future cameras. I'm waiting for the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II or the Sony ZV-E20 probably. It's gonna come out very soon, probably in January or February 2024. Till then, let's wait and see the specs that will be released and the rumors about the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II or the Sony ZV-E20. And I'm not saying that the DJI Pocket 3 is better than this one. I will not have time to compare them in a head-to-head comparison, but we needed this product showcase mode. We had it on the Sony ZV-E10, we have it on the Sony ZV-1, the ZV-1 Mark II. I don't know why we don't have it on this camera. It could be a perfect content creator camera for studio shoots as well as for outdoors, but we do not have this particular feature that we need on this camera. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And by the way, let me tell you that I use this camera throughout the day for some rushes here and there, and some B-roll shots and some A-roll shots, some headshots. and the battery level is about 63% now, which is great because the camera was almost all the time running when I was filming my headshots, and I have only one battery. Sony sent me only one battery, and I was hoping to be able to finish this video before the battery depletes, but thanks to the good technology now we have in the cameras and in the batteries, we still have 62% now, and that's really amazing. So it started to be a little bit dark here. I'll end this video now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, that's a massive help. Check the affiliate links, I have lots of promo codes and lots of good deals about photography and videography products. You can save some money and you can help my channel a lot. If you are interested in this camera, check it out at Digit Photo. The link is down below. Use the creator code PHOTORABS at the checkout. Thank you for watching.